Welcome to WatchMojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the most effective and/or clever ways to handle a horror film problem. Some spoilers ahead for the following movies.
You have allowed them to dictate every decision of your life.
Number 75, checking the door cameras. Weapons. While grieving his missing child, Archer finally steps up with a possible solution. His idea is to check the security cameras of various families in the neighbourhood. With a little amateur sleuthing, the man determines what direction each kid is running. It's an ingenious plan that the cops probably should have thought about before.
What do you see?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
After triangulating these positions, the father receives a tip that sends him straight to the right spot. It all sets up a finale that's as brash and bold as it is violent. Zach Cregger's tight script lets you follow along like an investigator. Keeping the audience at bay, the filmmaker still makes it known how effective this investigation can be.
Oh, I found you.
Number 74, following the rules. Zombieland. Using important guidelines, Columbus survives his adventure through the zombie apocalypse. He exercises caution in any number of situations that keep him safe and ready for action. This includes staying limber, fit, and adaptable. Bathrooms should be checked with extreme caution, with a trusty weapon always coming in hand. The characters running with Tallahassee and other survivors put these rules to the test.
What are you looking for?
Nothing, I have this list.
No one back there but my duffel bag.
Even when he's forced to go back and save his friends, the hero knows to stick to his code. We think if the undead ever take over, we'll need to do a rewatch to get a few extra tips.
Rule number 22. When in doubt, know your way out.
Number 73, letting the villain get close. Heretic. In this horror movie, two Mormon missionaries end up locked in a disturbed person's home. Only one makes it to the end to face off with Hugh Grant's antagonist. Sister Paxton listens to Mr. Reed's final monologue and even lets him get close.
You are here because the ideas of others have influenced every single decision you've made since the day you were born, and I've been able to predict every decision you'd make tonight because of that.
Just when he least expects it, the nemesis gets a surprise in the neck. The move gives the young hero a chance to flee. You could call the evil guy short-sighted, but he did fall for an effective blow. Not sure if he'll ever understand the error of his ways though. Grant's villain might be charming, but he's clearly been outsmarted by his uninvited guest. Number 72, backing up. Jeepers Creepers. Trish and Darry Jenner are on the worst road trip ever. Interrupted by the creeper, the siblings don't have an easy go of it. This all leads them to a nighttime confrontation. Trish ends up hitting the villain with her car, doing the best that she can to subdue the enemy. The driver then makes a smarter decision than others have in horror movies. She decides to back up over the nemesis, running him over for good measure. It's a meta moment that shows these characters are more skilled than they appear. Jeepers Creepers doesn't end there, but it does give the heroes another chance.
I don't know how much further this car's gonna go.
Far enough.
Number 71, Trick Basement. Halloween. Michael Myers is nothing short of a stubborn guy. Throughout the series and this film, he shows how deadly he can be. The villain seems smarter than everyone until he messes with Laurie Strode. With the heroine defending her home and family, the stage is set for a dramatic ending.
Happy Halloween, Michael.
Myers doesn't account for some added fortifications in the main character's house. When he's surprised by a few hidden features, the slasher antagonist finds himself trapped.
Goodbye, Michael.
A barrier prevents an exit, and a massive fire keeps him at bay. While he isn't completely gone, the enemy meets his match with some skilled opponents. Number 70, making sure it's the right shark. Jaws. Everybody worries in this movie about the titular enemy. After catching a tiger shark, it appears like things might be okay.
There are all kinds of sharks in the waters, you know? Hammerheads, white tips, blues, makos. And the chances that these bozos got the exact shark
there's
that
no
killed
other
those
sharks
people
like this in
aren't
these
Martin.
waters.
It's 100 to 1. 100 to 1.
The mayor wants the beach to stay open and goes along with everything. Hooper thinks otherwise, cutting into the aquatic predator to be sure. The oceanographer and Brody figure out that there's nothing human inside the dead fish.
Gotta close the beach, call the mayor.
Got a bigger problem than that, Martin. You still got a hell of a fish out there. With a mouth about this big.
With this news, they know to keep looking for the real target. It's a small and gross way to double-check for the right answer. On their own investigation, the heroes use this information to go on their own hunt. It's often the more scientific characters that can be pivotal in horror plots.
Spear guns, SMG.
What are you, some kind of half-ass astronaut?
Number 69, Zero Gravity, Alien Romulus. For a sequel to a long-running franchise, this entry still has plenty of surprises. This includes a new way to fight the xenomorphs. Rain and her trusty android are cornered, but a rifle and zero gravity help. Aliens start to float and make for much easier targets.
Rain, are you sure about this?
Only one way to find out.
They're also thrown off their usual moves, making it harder to attack. Some well-placed shots take out each one and send their acid flying. Alien Romulus is never more intense or exciting than this late-game scene. Just when you think it could all crumble, the hero finds a way to outsmart her otherworldly predators.
Stay behind me! Andy, be careful.
Number 68, One Way. It comes at night. To survive an apocalypse, a family lives a secluded life in a remote home. They have one door that accesses the house and another behind that.
When we're inside the house, the door to the back room stays closed and locked, the one that you came through, and the door leading to the back room also stays closed and locked all the time.
This helps centralize all of their worries, with every other entryway boarded up or inaccessible. It's especially helpful when another group shows up to complicate things.
There's somebody in the house. What? There's somebody in the house.
The rules might be strict, but they ensure that there's no extra surprises to all hours of the day. Many movie characters over the years might have benefited from the same concept. With this film, Doomsday Preppers could learn a thing or two. Number 67, Iodine, 28 years later. Rafe Fiennes is a mystery in 28 Years Later, with his whereabouts and motives proving elusive. The hero finally meets Dr. Ian Kelson and realizes the latter is a wizard with the undead.
Excuse my appearance, I paint myself in iodine. It's an excellent prophylactic. The virus doesn't like iodine at all.
More specifically, he's figured out that the infected don't love iodine. It makes him look extra frightening for the average humans as well. Along with his inventive blow darts, the man might just be the most resourceful of the entire cast.
Morphine, xylazine. It's extremely fast acting.
Fiennes' reserved performance only makes this guy that much more compelling. Regardless of what happens in the sequels, Kelson might be the safest character to work alongside. Number 66, Zombies Ignore Animals, Dawn of the Dead. When the survivors need to send important items to a neighbour, they realise that they can use a dog. Turns out that the zombies in this Dawn of the Dead don't react to animals.
You got to get over there anyway.
Shut up!
More ammunition, all right?
I have an idea.
As the humans watch from the rooftop, they see chips slip by unscathed. You could see a system like this working well with a fully stocked building.
Let me see.
Things then get complicated when Nicole goes after the pet, but it's hard not to blame her for wanting to save it. The survivors leave for another area, and you can imagine them using the same method elsewhere.
Chips, no!
Number 65, Cheeseburger Order, the menu. In a movie full of fine dining, this one features a surprisingly simple dish. Anya Taylor-Joy's heroine wonders about escaping the deadly dinner. By the end, she forces the evil chef's hand by asking for a burger.
You know what I'd really like?
Tell me.
A cheeseburger.
We can do a cheeseburger.
A real cheeseburger.
The order wins the guest a way out and a safe journey off the island. Other customers try to run or reason with the antagonist, but this special task proves to be the golden ticket.
Now that is a cheeseburger.
It's among the more unlikely and surprising strategies in horror movie history. As the others await their fiery fate, Margot can eat her food safely from a boat. Number 64, live streaming in bathroom. Trap. Attending a concert with his daughter, Cooper Abbott must escape the venue with the headliner Lady Raven. This kidnapping prompts the singer to take the villain's phone and lock herself in the bathroom.
Hey guys, I need help here. I need it right now. There's a young man named Spencer in a basement. He needs us to find him. This is not a joke. We only have seconds. I know you can do this. Does anyone in Philadelphia or nearby New Jersey live near a statue of a broken lion?
She's the only person that's been able to thwart the man up to that point. Taking advantage of the situation, Raven calls on her fans to help her find another hostage.
To the girl who just answered, there's only a few minutes. Get your family and other adults and go there right now. There's a young man in a basement.
Abbott is unable to steal the device away before the live stream. The performer puts her own life on the line, using social media and her audience to make a difference. M. Night Shyamalan's thriller lets the heroic character improvise in a smart twist.
May I have my phone? And the rest of the phones you have.
Number 63, Self-Surgery, Prometheus. Due to some shifty work by android David, Holloway ends up putting his love interest Elizabeth Shaw in danger. The archaeologist finds herself impregnated with a foreign being.
Come on! Initiating anesthetics.
With only minutes to save herself, Shaw takes drastic medical action. She uses equipment to surgically remove the alien. It's among the more graphic scenes of the franchise, but the result saves the hero's life. Most of the other crew members are not as lucky. The entire procedure goes well enough, with a fast recovery that allows the women to leap into action and run away. We're not sure if we could have been brave enough to pull off the same thing. Number 62, Sneaky Grenade, Maximum Overdrive. It's not the best movie, but Maximum Overdrive is a good time. The film gives you a good idea of what a machine uprising might be.
Now when I say run, you run, okay?
Emilio Estevez's character uses a grenade against the platform truck, with his stealthy work making for a big boom. He causes a distraction and is able to deliver a major blow to the enemy. It's more of a blunt decision, but one that does end up helping out. Stephen King's world gets a little more wacky here as the heroes discover a loophole. You can call it ingenuity, or you can call it a half-baked scheme that pays off. It's also a more explosive way to gain the upper hand and eventually escape.
Can we get out of here? Yeah, Bill, I think it's time to get out of here.
Let's go, gang. Let's go.
Number 61, Living Underground, Day of the Dead. In this entry of the Living Dead franchise, George Romero puts his heroes underground. The base is a virtual fortress separated by a large elevator. As long as everybody maintains their cool, this is even better than a shopping mall.
Another waste of time, right? Got that right, man.
The survivors are a group of hotheads and unstable people, making this adventure more complicated. This doesn't change the fact that it's a pretty secure place.
We don't get a lot of visitors out here, and we like it that way. Here it is. There it is.
As long as you don't freak out and let a bunch of zombies inside, you'll do just fine. This crew learns the hard way that you should take these rules seriously in order to survive the undead. Number 60, poking hole in plastic. Terrifier. If you're a fan of the Terrifier series, you know that the villain usually gets his way. The first one in particular involves more than a few gruesome deaths. Art the Clown chooses to wrap plastic around Victoria's head, but the latter has other ideas. She decides to poke a hole in the plastic and gasp for some much needed air. Rather than suffocating, the character chooses the best way to spare herself. It's incredible that many victims in similar films haven't tried the same trick. With such quick thinking, this distressed damsel knows how to deal with this faulty murder weapon. Number 59, planting bombs. The Belko experiment. On the worst day of his life, Mike Milch must fight off his co-workers at Belko Industries. He's then confronted by the people that organised this disturbing test. When Milch receives a debriefing, he reveals what he's done to outsmart everyone.
And where are these explosives now?
On you.
Every victim has an explosive device implanted in them that can go off with a switch. The hero secretly slips these into pockets, dashing for the board to unleash his plan. This sends almost everyone packing and lets the employee pick up a gun. With some amazing foresight, this everyday man becomes the ultimate warrior.
Michael, your actions today, you believe life is sacred.
Number 58, boarding up house. Night of the Living Dead. Ben and the other survivors perform a basic act in this movie. They aren't inventing the act of boarding up a home, but they arguably influenced every zombie story afterwards. The characters know that it's in their best interest to seal everything off from intruders.
Not that strong.
Night of the Living Dead features a great location and gives the characters a chance to secure it. The heroes know that they'll be much better off inside, but eventually they have to leave. People are much better off staying behind the door and nailing it shut. The only trouble is finding a group willing to let you back inside. Number 57, pretending to be zombies. Shaun of the Dead. The lead character and his friends head for a local pub, but they need to get by the zombies. This inspires the team to do some acting. They all must drop their best impressions, fully prepared to walk by the undead. Not everyone in the group is up to the task though. If the apocalypse happens, you'd be much better off shacking up with some method actors.
2 seconds. Hey, Noodle.
You alright, mate?
Yeah, man, I can't really talk now.
Did you get anything yet?
I've got nothing.
Really?
No, I'm right in the middle of something.
Bit mentally, isn't it?
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it? Oi! What are you doing?
The plan doesn't last all that long, as some of the survivors can't maintain focus. Shaun of the Dead does a brilliant job at setting up the horror genre, poking fun at the nature of a walker's stride.
You were saying about another way in?
Yeah, there's a...
Number 56, Evie bites Walter. At the climax of this horror movie, The Invitation gives you a wedding scene to remember. Evie figures a way out of this horrific situation. Biting her new husband's arm, the heroine becomes a vampire. This makes her a practical superhero in this movie world. With maximum power and a renewed confidence, the lead character fights back against DeVille's crew. This all makes for an exciting and massive turn of events. Sometimes it's best to just give in to the process, but to use it all to your advantage. That's certainly the case with the bride in this film. Number 55, Escape Plan, Event Horizon. This rescue mission doesn't go exactly as planned. Investigating a distress signal, a space crew discovers a horrifying story on the titular ship. The rescuers watch a disturbing video that shows them what happened. Stuck! Upon seeing the evidence, Captain S.J. Miller tells everyone it's time to go. Other horror movie heroes would want to stick around and take their chances. Thankfully in this story, somebody has the brains to step up and tell everybody to leave.
We're leaving.
Event Horizon doesn't end well for everybody despite this intelligent decision. At the very least, Miller tries to give his crew a fighting chance to not suffer the same fate.
The crew is dead, Doctor. Your ship killed them.
We came here to do a job.
We're aborting, Doctor!
Number 54, Shaving His Head. Friday the 13th, the final chapter. The many sequels of this franchise revolve around a fight with Jason. This climax is no different in its setup, but the villain might have met his match. Trish fends off Jason long enough for Tommy to show up with a bald head. The younger character stuns the masked killer, leading to a team-up of epic proportions. There's also a useful machete up for grabs. The Jarvis family each take turns with a sharp blade, making for an intense and satisfying comeuppance. Who would have thought that a new haircut could foil one of the great horror icons? Number 53, getting Freddy and Jason to fight. Freddy vs. Jason. Laurie and Will are in a tight spot near the end of this film. The heroes and their friends find themselves between two titans, but they discover an escape. Freddy is about to strike until Jason shows up. This gives the protagonist a chance to flee, with the main villains fighting each other. It's just the chance the good guys need to make a mad dash. The two horror legends can't resist duking it out, distracted by each other and eager to prove themselves. This helps in the short term, even though characters like Kia don't make it out. Number 52, pretending to patch things up. The Invisible Man. Throughout this tense thriller, Cecilia Cass believes that she's being tormented by her ex-partner. The ending then gives Cass a chance to get her revenge. When her former boyfriend makes a surprise return, the hero decides to meet the man for dinner.
And we can't start this with a lie.
But I'm not starting with a lie. It wasn't me.
Things take a violent turn with a knife and the potential use of an invisible suit. You're left with a few questions, but you're also pretty sure that Elizabeth Moss's character made it all happen. She pretends to give the antagonist what he wants before turning the tables. After so much gaslighting, the victim manages to take charge and provide a convincing alibi for herself.
It's 3333 Celestial Drive.
Number 51, stash guns. Sinners. Smoke stashes away some high-powered weapons for a rainy day, or in this case, a fight with some racist villains. He survives a terrifying night, a vampire ambush, and a brawl with his brother. You'd think he'd be worn out or worse. A gang then shows up to throw the main character for a loop. Using a Tommy gun and more, Michael B. Jordan's hero surprises his enemies and takes them all out. He could have easily been killed if he didn't have that kind of firepower waiting. While he might be mortally wounded, the man still wins the day before seeing his family again. Number 50, Ripley sets off the fire alarm. Aliens. Poor Ripley and Newt find themselves in a waking nightmare, surrounded by live facehuggers, completely defenseless and unable to cry for help. They're trapped in the station's medical bay, and none of the other Marines can hear their scuffle with the facehuggers. Fortunately, Ripley thinks on her feet. She takes a lighter and puts the flame next to the room's fire suppression system, causing an alarm to go off. Seeing the alarm, the Marines rush to the medical bay, just in time to save Ripley and Newt.
All clear. Nailed the other one. It's history, man.
49, making a newspaper curtain. Train to Busan. featuring uncommonly smart characters for a horror film, Train to Busan follows a group of people stuck on a train with bloodthirsty zombies. These zombies are of the 28 Days Later variety, screechy, speedy, and highly aggressive. In one scene, a horde of zombies are looking through a glass door at our heroes, and Sok-woo realizes that they're attracted to movement.
그 사람들 문 열 줄 모르는 것 같아.
Thinking fast, Song-hyung grabs a water bottle and a newspaper. She splashes the water onto the glass and sticks the newspaper to the water, effectively making a curtain that prevents the zombies from seeing them. And with that, the threat is neutralized. For now.
그만해. 다들 겁나니까 그런 거야.
Number 48, Selena kills Mark. 28 Days Later. Speaking of 28 Days Later, this film revolutionized the zombie genre, introducing fast runners and new rules. In most zombie movies, characters have a couple of days from when they're infected until they turn. In 28 Days Later, it's 20 seconds. So you have to act fast, and that's exactly what Selena does.
Were you bitten?
A no-nonsense character, focused purely on survival, she quickly deduces that Mark has been infected in the house attack. She simply reads the panic on Mark's face, grabs her machete, and gets to work.
Mark.
It's horrifically brutal, but it has to be done, and Selena is the one to do it. Number 47, setting the room on fire, 1408. Sometimes you have to fight fire with fire, and Mike Enslin takes that literally. Mike finds himself trapped in a haunted hotel room that plays tricks on his mind and taunts him with the ghost of his deceased daughter.
Are you ready to check out, Mr. Enslin?
Having no other means to escape and nearing the end of his sanity, Mike makes a Molotov cocktail and burns the room down. This not only kills its malevolent spirit, but also allows firefighters to enter the gutted room and rescue him from the inferno. He reunites with his estranged wife and all is well. Of course, Mike doesn't make it out in the director's cut, but he's still content with having defeated the room and freeing its trapped souls. Number 46, getting distance from the entity. It follows. You're being followed by a deadly entity. It doesn't sleep, no one else can see it, and when it touches you, you die. So, what do? That's the question at the heart of It Follows. And while some of the plans are pretty silly, others are surprisingly smart. One of the best ideas comes from Jeff, a student who had previously been infected by the entity.
If it kills her, it gets me. It goes straight down the line to whoever started it. Jay. I'm sorry.
He implores that the group drive to a remote location and simply hide out. The entity has to walk, so it would be days before it arrives, giving them time to hide and think of more permanent solutions.
Walking straight for you, but it is walking. If you drive far enough, you could buy yourself some time to think, decide if you want to give it to someone else.
The answer is so simple, yet so effective. Number 45, using the environment. The Black Phone. A kidnapping drama with a supernatural twist, The Black Phone sees young Finney getting taken by the Grabber and held inside his basement.
I'm not strong enough.
You have to be. You're getting out of here. If you can't do it for you, do it for me.
What does it matter?
Because I don't want to die for nothing.
But in this basement, he accesses the titular Black Phone, some kind of supernatural device that allows him to talk to the Grabber's past victims. They all give him various pieces of advice for escaping the room, and Finney utilizes them all in the climactic battle to fantastic success.
It's for you.
Welcome to the nightmare end of your pathetic little life. You don't have much time.
Watching all of the pieces fall into place is incredibly satisfying, as are the various ingenious ways that Finney uses his tools to defeat the Grabber. Number 44, playing the baby. Barbarian. Tess thinks she has it bad when her Airbnb is double booked with Keith, but she has no idea that it's about to get so much worse.
So there's a bed and a bucket and a camera? Yeah. I'm just gonna go.
No, please don't. There was like a handprint on the wall.
Tess, calm down.
She and Keith find a secret room in the basement of the house, and inside this room is a feral creature who kills Keith and takes Tess prisoner. Tess quickly deduces that the creature is a deformed woman who desperately wants a child, so she decides to play along and act as her baby.
You can't get upset. If you get upset, she gets upset.
She? Who's she?
It's deeply uncomfortable, watching Tess be embraced and stroked by the creature, but hey, It kept her alive up until this point, so good for her. Number 43, not looking at the alien. Nope. Jordan Peele's Nope has many thematic ambitions, but it's also a terrifying invasion film in the vein of classic Spielberg. Daniel Kaluuya's OJ is a smart man, and he alone figures out the alien.
Make a name for yourself. What is that?
My bad, man.
It's he who realises that it's a living organism and not a UFO, and having experience with trained animals, he realises that the alien only attacks those who look directly at it.
Yeah, he didn't like that, did he?
He then helps devise a plan to capture the alien on film, which is ultimately successful thanks to the help of M and Holst. Number 42, sacrificing herself. Alien 3. The third entry in the Alien franchise is often criticised for being too dark, and that extends to the somewhat dour ending.
What guarantee do I have? Once you've taken it out, you'll destroy it.
Ripley learns that she's carrying an alien embryo and that Weyland-Yutani plans on turning it into a biological weapon. So Ripley has a choice: give birth to an alien that will be used for further violence, or sacrifice herself and end the vicious battle for good.
It's the chance of a lifetime! You must let me have it! It's a magnificent specimen!
She chooses the latter, throwing herself into a vat of molten lead. It's certainly not a happy ending, and we were sad to see Ripley go, but we suppose she made the right and smart choice. Number 41, hiding in the mall. Dawn of the Dead. In the zombie apocalypse, it's everyone for themselves, and if that means taking over a mall and stealing all the goods for yourself, then so be it.
Wait a minute, they can't get up here.
Yeah, and we can't go down there.
Let's check it out.
This is what the heroes of Dawn of the Dead realise when they fly upon the empty mall while escaping Philadelphia. Deciding that it would be the perfect place to hide out for a while, they land on the roof, clear the mall of zombies, and make themselves a nice little nest from the store's contents.
There's an awful lot of stuff down there that we could use.
I know it.
It's a big place. But they're pretty spread out down there.
Of course, it's only a matter of time before raiders come a-calling, but this plan worked splendidly for months. Who else was living this comfortably while the world fell apart around them? Number 40, blowing up the house. Fright Night. We all know the major no-nos that come with being a vampire. Can't go out in sunlight, can't eat garlic, can't touch crosses, and can't enter someone's home without an invitation. But what if there is no home? Colin Farrell's Gerry finds a clever workaround to that last one in this fun remake.
Look, we're all right as long as you stay inside, because obviously you can't get in without an invitation.
Like a vampire.
Yeah, really, like a vampire.
After realising his neighbour Charlie is wise to his undead nature, Gerry pays a visit. But his ploy to get invited in is rebuffed. Undeterred, Gerry takes a shovel to their backyard and digs up the gas line. From there, a little exposure and a spark are all it takes to blow up the house from the inside. The occupants are okay, but that's one way to flush out potential victims.
Don't need an invitation if there's no house.
Number 39, calling a cab. Scream 2. Do you ever watch a horror movie and think to yourself, there's nothing keeping them there, why don't they just leave? Well, Joel has the common sense to do just that in Scream 2.
I should have read your book before I took this job, but I'm reading it now, and woo, I read what happened to your last cameraman. The guy got gutted.
After finding out what happened to Gail's camera operator in the first film, Joel is none too pleased to be on campus with a killer running around. So, when Randy gets killed in his news van, he decides he's had enough and skips town.
See ya? Wouldn't want to be you.
Joel, I need you!
No, you need to have your head examined.
Due to a script leak, Joel's entire character had to be reworked, leaving him without a death or a resolution. It was reportedly actor Dwayne Martin's idea to add in this scene. Wes Craven obliged, but brought back Joel for the ending anyway.
I'm back. You know, I was thinking maybe we could get the scoop like in the old days. You're Gail Weathers at Windsor College.
Number 38, shredding Michael. Halloween Ends. While the so-called ending of Halloween received a mixed reception at best, you can't deny that the town's handling of Michael Myers isn't 100% the right call. After we've seen Michael get knocked down and impossibly up again for decades, it seems like Laurie has finally ended the shape. But she too has seen this horror movie before. So with the help of the authorities, she leads Michael on one last tour of Haddonfield.
Time for Haddonfield to start healing.
Let's show them all.
This is not how it works.
It is tonight.
With the townsfolk joining the therapeutic funeral procession, it all ends at the salvage yard where they dispose of Michael's body in an industrial shredder. Yeah, no resurrections this time, we think. Number 37, Burying Mia, Evil Dead. This movie takes its metaphor of getting clean to the utmost extreme. After Mia is possessed by the evil and two of their friends are killed, David feels resigned to simply set the cabin on fire with his sister in it. But his brotherly nature gets the better of him and he hatches a plan to save her. With the help of his best friend Eric, David is able to sedate Mia and drag her outside. There, he enacts a live burial.
I can't move. I can't breathe.
You're not hurt.
Mia technically dies, but so too does her possession end. David immediately exhumes her body and resuscitates her, effectively saving Mia's life.
Thanks for not leaving me, David.
It's just too bad that David ends up burning in that cabin after all. Number 36, Destroying the Cameras, Escape Room.
What are you doing? Quantum Zeno effect. Atoms won't change if you take continuous measurements, so as long as they're watching us, we can't change our state. The game is designed so they always win.
Upon realizing that the shadowy company Minos stays in control as long as they can see the contestants, Zoe takes to smashing all the cameras in the hospital-themed room. While Jason and Ben are able to escape the old-fashioned way, Zoe remains resolute in her plan.
Come on, there's a way out!
This is the way out.
You'll suffocate, come on! Let's go!
At first, it seems like Zoe suffocates to death after being exposed to the poisonous gas. But without any eyes on her, she's now able to breathe through an oxygen mask undetected. The cleanup crew thus thinks she's dead, only to get a rude awakening.
The oxygen mask. What the hell was she gonna do with that?
Breathe!
It's thanks to Zoe's four-dimensional thinking that she and Ben are able to turn the tables on the Game Master and escape for good. Number 35, Leg Upgrade, Planet Terror. Losing a leg to a zombie horde would pretty much spell doom to any other survivor, but not Cherry Darling. Sure, she's a little down on herself at first, but a quick fix from her ex-boyfriend, El Rey, helps her escape.
I have no leg!
Now you do. What do you think?
While the table leg is also a smart decision and helps Cherry take names, it's the next upgrade that earns its spot on our list. When the chips are down and the wooden leg is broken, El Rey replaces it with an assault rifle with a rocket launcher attachment.
I believe it. You could be better. You deserve better. Even better than me. Right now, I need you to become who you're meant to be. Stand.
Don't ask us how it works without Cherry's finger on the trigger, but in a grindhouse movie, all that matters is how undeniably badass she becomes. Number 34, Goading the Demon, The Exorcist. Upon possessing the young Reagan and reducing her to a grotesque husk of her former self, the demon Pazuzu effectively saps the hope of all those close to her. Father Karras and Father Merrin do everything they can to exorcise Pazuzu, but this proves futile and results in the latter's death. Incensed as the demon and his inability to save the little girl, Karras flies into a rage.
You son of a... Take me! Come into me! God damn you! Take me!
He beats Pazuzu senselessly, challenging it to take him instead. Pazuzu obliges, and Karras, already feeling its influence, hurls himself out a window to prevent himself from harming Reagan. Karras may die, but Reagan is safe. Until the sequels, of course. Number 33, Swimming Through the Coral, Old. The characters in this M. Night Shyamalan thriller are faced with a peculiar predicament. They're trapped on a beach that causes them to age the equivalent of a year every 30 minutes. Trouble is, they can't leave the beach, else they lose consciousness, which can be fatal depending on their situation. After everyone else has died of physical or natural causes, siblings Maddox and Trent find themselves middle-aged, having been children just the day before. Thankfully, a secret message makes them believe a nearby coral reef may shield them from blacking out if they swim through it.
The coral might protect us from the effects of the rocks. Maybe that's like our metal tube.
Maybe we're just making up what we want to hear.
Or maybe you heard they took people to this beach.
It's a big gamble, as they risk drowning if they're wrong. But they're not, as they ultimately make it out and expose those responsible.
Your aunt will be waiting for you when you land. How's she handling things?
How would you feel if a 50-year-old man called and told you he was your 6-year-old nephew?
Number 32, checking into a psychiatric ward. Final Destination 2. It doesn't matter how good you are at reading the signs, cheating death in this franchise will only get you so far, and eventually, it will get you. This is what Claire comes to realise after losing fellow Flight 180 survivor Alex between films. Rather than continue to roll the dice, Claire has since committed herself to a psych ward where she spends her days in a padded cell where nothing can actually kill her.
You gotta help me. I don't have to do anything. But you beat it. Take a look around. What did I beat, Kimberly?
Since this is a story with character growth, however, Claire ultimately decides to check herself out in order to help other survivors. And as you might guess, it finally catches up to her in a hospital explosion. Number 31, Muddying Up. Predator. This sci-fi action horror film is full of smart decisions, mostly by the titular creature, but we ultimately have to award the move that decides this game of cat and mouse. After his entire rescue team is picked off one by the Predator, Dutch is chased to a riverbank to seemingly meet his end. However, the Predator fails to see him, and Dutch realizes the mud inexplicably covering his body is masking him in his adversary's heat vision. With time to prepare, Dutch becomes a hunter himself by setting a series of traps, making sure to muddy himself up real good in the process. It's still a struggle, but Dutch's keen insight into his enemy helps him win the day. Number 30, Backing Up. Us. Another instance of knowing thy enemy. This one sees a family plagued by their evil doppelgangers. The youngest, Jason, gets time to observe and understand his, Pluto, realizing that his double mirrors his actions. After Jason's father and sister dispose of their doppelgangers, the family is ambushed on the road by a flaming car.
It's a trap. Get out!
Upon seeing Pluto, Jason realizes it's a trap and turns the tables. Before Pluto can cause a deadly explosion, Jason starts backing up, knowing Pluto will do the same. While Jason may back up directly into the arms of his mother's doppelganger, Pluto backs directly into the flaming vehicle, catching himself alight and ending his tiny reign of terror. Number 29, Infecting Himself. World War Z. The zombies featured in this apocalyptic action horror flick are some of the deadliest put to screen. They're incredibly fast, and infection spreads even faster, turning a human within seconds of being bitten. However, their overzealous predatory nature also turns out to be their downfall.
I believe these things have a weakness. And that weakness is weakness. Our weakness.
Throughout the film, Brad Pitt's Gerry Lane is able to observe them out in the wild, so to speak, and comes to believe the zombies will deliberately ignore anyone who's terminally ill, wanting only healthy hosts.
But even if you're right, I mean, infecting the populace with a lethal illness is not exactly a cure.
It's not a cure. It's camouflage.
To prove this theory, Gerry fights his way through a research facility and injects himself with a lethal yet curable disease. Not only does it work, but Gerry also gives humanity a fighting chance against the undead scourge. Number 28, Going All Survivalist. You're next. When it comes to smarts, there are few final girls quite like Erin. Unbeknownst to her adversaries, she was raised in a survivalist compound. So when masked assailants arrive to terrorize her boyfriend's family, she doesn't waste a second in setting herself up for success. She sets a slew of traps all over the house, severely injuring the intruders, whether they're just trying to enter or whether they think they have her cornered. Seriously, Erin does so many things right that it'd be easier to list the things she does wrong.
Thanks for the help, by the way.
Hey, you seem to have a handle on it.
She might even be too lethal for her own good, as even after the killers and their conspirators are dead, an arriving police officer gets a wicked surprise. Number 27, electrocuting the shark. Jaws 2. Shoving a scuba tank into a shark's mouth before blowing it up with a gunshot is ingenious. But Chief Brody might just outdo himself in the sequel.
Smile, you son of a...
After some local kids find themselves stranded in the ocean with a vicious great white, Brody again comes to the rescue. He tracks them down to an island that's home to a relay station, but getting them to safety proves exceedingly difficult. He inadvertently uncovers a power cable, but when others' lives hang in the balance, he uses it to his advantage. He whacks the cable repeatedly with an oar, gaining the shark's attention, before getting the beast to bite down on the wiring. The electrocution is so severe that the shark immediately catches fire, absolutely roasted. Number 26, pipe bomb fake out. Tremors. What do you do when you're being hounded by giant sand-dwelling worms? Use pipe bombs, of course.
What if we throw one that way, where we want to go? Then when it explodes, if it drives them away, we run like goddamn bastards. Pardon my French.
When the group of survivors find themselves pinned down towards the end of the film, they get the idea to not only distract the graboids with pipe bombs, but to fish with them too. They successfully blow up one graboid, but another gets wise and spits it back at them. Scattered, they're forced to improvise, before a graboid pins a few of them down at the edge of a cliff. With just one pipe bomb left, Val tries not to blow it up, but to scare it. After he does so, the thing panics to the point that it shoots right out the cliffside, and graboids cannot fly.
Yeah! Can you fly, you sucker? Can you fly?
Number 25, using audio feedback. A Quiet Place. Every villain has a weakness, even aliens in a fun and original horror movie. A Quiet Place concerns a species of aliens with super duper hearing. The creatures are able to detect even the slightest bit of noise from miles away, and will devour whoever and whatever made the sound. But this type of extraordinary hearing comes with a cost, and young Reagan utilizes it to her advantage. Realizing that her cochlear implant emits a high-pitched screech when disrupted, she puts it up to the microphone and amplifies the whine, causing an alien to react in enormous pain. This allows Reagan's mother Evelyn to kill the creature, and with their major weakness exposed, she pumps the shotgun and prepares for battle. Number 24, threatening Chucky. Child's Play. Of course, we as the audience know that Chucky is an evil living doll, but any rational person in that universe would never come to that conclusion. So, when all signs point to her young son Andy being behind the recent killings, Karen doesn't know what to believe.
Chucky's alive, really.
Andy, Chucky is a doll. He's made of plastic and stuffing. Look at him. Now, does he look like anything else to you?
Thanks to her mother's intuition, however, a part of Karen hears Andy when he says Chucky did it. With nothing to lose, Karen ignites the fireplace and tells Chucky that if he doesn't come alive, she'll toss him in. Out of options, Chucky obliges.
I said talk to me, damn it, or else I'm gonna throw you in the fire!
You stupid!
Granted, Karen's got a whole new problem now, but at least she knows who the real enemy is. Number 23, power loading. Aliens. Ellen Ripley has to be one of the most resourceful heroines in horror. In the same movie that sees her save herself from sabotage by activating the alarm, she also has the perfect answer for the alien queen, an exosuit power loader.
Get away from her, you...
While the power loaders are, of course, designed to move heavy objects, with the lack of an appropriate mech suit, it definitely works in a pinch. While the Queen definitely has the upper hand in terms of arsenal, Ripley has the wherewithal to drop it in the airlock. Sure, she takes a tumble with it too, but from there, all it takes is a pulling of a switch and holding on for dear life. Number 22, using the mask, prey. Much like Dutch from the original Predator film, Naru too obscures her scent by eating the orange Totsia flower and dropping her body temperature. But it's what she does afterwards that's really brilliant. After getting the drop on the Predator, she steals its mask and leads it to a trap. Sure, there's still a physical battle to be had, but Naru's picked up a thing or two. For one, she knows that its projectiles use a targeting system attached to its mask. When the Predator's stuck in the mud, it fires directly at Naru. However, Naru's positioned the mask to train its crosshairs right at the thing, and the projectile whips around and takes the Predator out instead. Looks like the Predator becomes the prey. Number 21, nullifying the reverse bear trap, Saw 6. Mark Hoffman is a pretty detestable villain, but even we can't help but be impressed when he beats the seemingly unbeatable reverse bear trap.
So when's your test, Detective?
I don't need one.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Because I didn't take my life for granted.
Ex-wife to the deceased John Kramer, Jill enacts his last will and testament by dealing with his rogue accomplice. After ambushing him, Jill straps Hoffman to a chair and outfits him with the iconic reverse bear trap. But this time around, there's no key, and no game to be played.
Game over.
Having to think fast, Hoffman uses the device's weight to break his own hand and free himself from the restraint. Then he shoves his face between two metal bars to open the door's window, preventing the trap from opening completely. It mangles his face, but he also lives to see another movie.
Number 20, Face Off, The Silence of the Lambs.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Is there a villain, let alone a horror movie villain, smarter than Hannibal Lecter? Seriously, we could not have concocted such a dastardly escape plan if given an eternity to come up with it. Through his dealings with FBI trainee Clarice Starling, Lecter's able to upgrade his prison digs, only he's more interested in escaping from them.
Jimmy, watch it, he's got it!
After picking his handcuffs and incapacitating the guards, Lecter does the unthinkable. He feigns his own escape by surgically removing one of their faces and throwing it over his own, tricking first responders into thinking they're saving one of the victims. By the time the authorities find the real body, Lecter's already in an ambulance ensuring his freedom. Number 19, Drawing Blood, The Invisible Man. Stabbing yourself in the wrist doesn't seem like a great idea on the surface, but when you've got an invisible foe, you have to think outside the box. Knowing her tormentor wants her alive, Cecilia stabs herself with a pen, faking her own death to catch the Invisible Man's attention.
There you are.
Lo and behold, he pops up right beside her, close enough for Cecilia to get in some solid jabs at the suit. The attack proves effective enough to get Cecilia out of the mental institution, and all it took was drawing a little bit of blood. Number 18, Staring at the Corner, Blair Witch. When your big bad has its own legend, it's best to use that to your advantage. In this return to the found footage legend of the Blair Witch, our heroes made sure to do their homework first. As James and Lisa arrive at the original Blair Witch house, they find themselves at a considerable disadvantage against the vastly overpowering witch.
The corner! Get in the corner! Come on!
According to legend, however, she can only kill them if they look right at her. So they stare at the corner to stay alive, even using their camcorder to look around without getting killed. Although they're eventually outsmarted back, at least they managed to temporarily outsmart her. Number 17, Turning on the Car Lights, Lights Out.
All right, Bex, hold on.
When you're dealing with the literal personification of fear of the dark, there's not much you can do when it's nighttime. Diana can only be seen in the dark, and that's where her power comes from. Brett is thwarted and attacked at every turn in his attempts to escape the nightmare creature. Just before he bites the dust, however, he uses his phone as a light to ward Diana away, only to be caught again outside. This time, however, his car is parked in front of him, and he activates the headlights with his keys. Quick thinking, Brett. Number 16. Using a pig, the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Good things come in small packages. On her own against the chainsaw-wielding Leatherface, Erin has virtually no way to fight back, so she runs into a nearby slaughterhouse to hide. Tucking herself away in a hall full of lockers, Erin covers her mouth and tries to remain silent. But she also has a four-legged friend along to help. Murderer approaching, Erin desperately holds her breath before Leatherface hears a noise and opens a locker. Distracted by the pig inside, Leatherface doesn't even see Erin until she comes down at him with a meat cleaver, taking his arm and chainsaw off in one clever switcheroo. Number 15. Burning the book as a distraction. Misery.
This time we'll need 2 glasses.
There's only so much you can do when you're immobilized, and no one knows you've been kidnapped. Sure, Paul's last attempt at escape isn't as elaborate as his previous ideas, but it works. Trapped and forced to write a sequel to his captor's favorite story, Paul ends up burning it right after he's finished it, destroying all the answers it had to any unanswered questions.
Paul, you can't!
Why not? I learned it from you.
While Annie desperately tries to remedy the situation, Paul uses the distraction to finally end the nightmare he's endured. Number 14. Setting a trap. The Final Girls.
Ready.
Ready! Ready! Ready!
Totem pole.
Ready!
To be honest, it would be pretty cool if we could be transported into our favorite movies, wouldn't it? Well, unless it's a horror movie and you could actually die. Trapped inside the silver screen, Max and her friends must find a way to defeat their masked terrorizer, Billy. They decide to set a trap for him, making weapons, luring him out, and attacking him. While it is a good plan involving flaming arrows and a bucket of gasoline, a lot of friendlies die. But at least we get the kick-ass, self-referential slow-mo escape scene. Number 13. Using a hanger as a weapon. Halloween.
You can't kill the boogeyman.
Surviving a horror movie means being able to turn anything into a weapon. Chased down by the menacing Michael Myers, Laurie finds herself in the hardest babysitting job of her life, having to protect herself and the children from the seemingly invincible lunatic. Thinking quickly, she fashions a blade out of a coat hanger and stabs Myers in the eye, injuring him long enough for him to get shot by Dr. Loomis. Number 12. Giving himself the chainsaw hand. Evil Dead 2. When you've lost a limb, there's no need to completely lose hope. Forced to chop off his own possessed hand, Ash makes the most out of the situation. After all, he still has to face off against the Deadites, right? When a demonic force is physically and psychologically destroying you, you're gonna have to be a little unhinged yourself to fight back. And sometimes that means sticking the stump of your own hand into a freaking chainsaw. Let's hope he doesn't get an itch.
Groovy.
Number 11. Using a pen to stab a hole in your throat. Saw 5. It's rare to call anyone smart for stabbing themselves in the neck, but it might just save your life in a pinch. Hunting the Jigsaw Killer, FBI agent Strom stops one killer only to be caught by another, finding himself in his own disturbing trap in the process. Waking up in one of the few unbeatable traps of the series, Strom is seemingly doomed as the box encasing his head quickly fills with water. Already beating one Jigsaw Killer, Strom uses the pen in his pocket to perform a tracheotomy on himself, allowing him to breathe until he's saved. Talk about thinking outside the box. Number 10. Setting fireworks. A quiet place. When the killer you're avoiding is hypersensitive to noise, the last thing you want to be doing is giving birth. After stepping on a nail on her way to the basement, Evelyn's presence is exposed to the nearby creatures. Thankfully, her husband Lee has a solution prepared for just this occasion. With his son Marcus at the ready, fireworks are ignited to create an auditory diversion. masking Evelyn's cries as she gives birth to their new son. While their troubles were far from over, this clever solution saved almost the entire family and made for possibly the most thrilling moment of the entire movie. Number 9. The Escape Plan. 10 Cloverfield Lane.
Michelle, why is this loose?
Escaping a madman takes a lot more preparation than a spur-of-the-moment idea. Realizing Howard will almost definitely kill her, Michelle has to find a way out of this crazy bunker. After discovering a second exit hatch while fixing their ventilator, Michelle devises a plan to get out. She gets the upper hand on Howard long enough to crawl through the vents and climb to the hatch. Using compressed air to freeze and shatter the lock, Michelle dons her makeshift hazmat suit and rises to the surface to see the outside world once again. Number 8. Putting on the Sweater. Friday the 13th, Part 2.
You've done your job well, and Mommy is pleased.
Norman Bates, Freddy Krueger, Jason Voorhees. All the best horror movie villains have mommy issues. However, there are ways to use that to your advantage to beat the bad guy. Ginny is being chased around Camp Crystal Lake by Jason, as per usual, when she finds herself an altar dedicated to his dead mother. Ginny ingeniously decides to psychologically mess with the mask-wearing killer by convincing him that she is Mrs. Voorhees by donning her sweater, persuading him to let his guard down for what she hopes is enough time for her to administer a killing blow.
That's a good boy.
Unfortunately, he realizes it's just a ruse, but he meets his end shortly thereafter anyway. Or does he? Number 7. Shoot the bad guy in the head to make sure. Scream 2.
Go ahead and give me the gun.
The gang in the Scream series knows how to survive a horror movie, even using internet calls as far back as the 90s to save themselves. However, one thing the group was particularly ignorant of the first time around was making sure the killers were even dead. But in the sequel, Sidney Prescott does not mess around.
Consider it done.
After seemingly killing Mickey and Mrs. Loomis, Sidney and Cotton take a breath before Mickey comes back, getting immediately shot by Sidney and Gail. Learning her lesson, Sidney shoots Loomis in the head just to be safe. Number 6. Turning household objects on a killer. Hush. When she's terrorized in her home by a crossbow-wielding invader, Maddie uses everything she can grab to defend herself. The killer assumes that because she's deaf and unable to speak, she's helpless. But that's far from the case, as he soon learns.
I can come in anytime I want. And I can get you anytime I want. But I'm not going to. Not until it's time.
In the final scuffle, she sprays insecticide in his face and uses a smoke alarm to rob him of his sight and hearing. She lands the final blow with a corkscrew. As a writer, Maddie is always reworking scenarios in her head. Luckily for her, she found the one where the hero lives in the end. Number 5. Setting up booby traps and waking up. A Nightmare on Elm Street. Home field advantages can work two ways. With her friends getting murdered around her, Nancy decides she has to take the fight against Freddy Krueger into her own hands. Realizing she can bring him out of her dream, Nancy booby traps her house and asks Dawn to help her once she gets Freddy on her turf. Managing to pull him out, Nancy gets Freddy into the real world and even lures him into her traps long enough to set him on fire. Not so easily defeated, however, Krueger of course returns. Number 4. Pushing the system purge button. The Cabin in the Woods.
Forgive us, and let us get it over with.
This movie contains almost every horror movie cliche in the book, and it's damn entertaining for that exact reason. After Dana and Marty find themselves pinned down by a dozen armed and dangerous security forces, there's only one thing left to do: push the system purge button.
Let's get this party started.
Sure, in retrospect, it doesn't seem like a great alternative, but it appears to work out okay for them. The button releases all the captive monsters, and boy did they have a great time tearing everyone to pieces, giving Dana and Marty time to escape. It begs the question though, why does this button even exist in the first place? Number 3. Scientific method. The Thing.
Now I'll show you what I already know.
The researchers in this claustrophobic horror classic are faced with quite the conundrum. How do you find a monster that can look like your friends? Using their brains, however, the surviving members of the Arctic facility go about revealing the alien in the most rudimentary way possible: a simple blood test.
This is pure nonsense. Doesn't prove a thing.
Knowing the creature's blood will try to protect itself, RJ McCready takes a sample of everyone's blood and heats it with a copper wire.
We'll do you last.
As he dips the wire in Palmer's blood, the sample jumps from the dish and flees, revealing the alien among them. Number 2, picking cotton out of the chair. Get Out.
This is crazy.
Get Out's critical reception was well-deserved. The film delves into issues of racism as well as themes typical to the horror genre, while featuring a main character that is far from clueless in almost every regard. Right from the get-go, Chris has a strange feeling about the family he's staying with. When your possible future mother-in-law is a hypnotist who wants to make you docile enough for a brain transplant, there's only one thing you can do. Make sure you don't listen to her. Chris literally picks cotton to keep himself alive by using his chair's stuffing to block his ears, and then breaks free to take his revenge. Ingenious. Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Danny stopping his snow footprint trail, The Shining. Never doubt the resourcefulness of a kid at death's door. Running for his life from his deranged and homicidal father, Danny heads for the hedge maze at the snowed-in and very haunted Overlook Hotel. Knowing he can't outrun his father forever, Danny realizes he has to throw his dad off the scent, and ditches running for a better plan. Backtracking through his own steps and hiding, his father reaches the end of his trail and proceeds to search aimlessly for him in the giant maze.
You can't get away!
Following his own prince out of the maze, Danny runs into his mother's arms, leaving Dad to suffer in the cold.
Did we forget another intelligent choice from your favourite horror? Let us know in the comments below.